I think we're live now.
Okay.
Hey people, this is Movi again with Money Max Bookkeeping Services, where we specialize in mental health, bookkeeping and accounting, and we service clients all over the United States. Even though we're physically located in Michigan, as long as you're in the United States, all 50 states, we're here for you and we can support you. So today we are going to be talking about very, very important topic that a lot of people don't understand. And knowing this is a way for you to make the most of your tax savings. And we're going to start this in a moment. I will let my partner introduce himself and we'll dive right into it.
Yeah, so I'm happy to be here, Moby. My name is JT. As she said, I work in the state of Iowa, but I work remotely with anybody. So anybody from Hawaii all the way to Long Island. So island to island, can work with any clients around the country. And I am what I call a tax strategist. So a little bit different than a tax accountant. A tax accountant just basically copies all your forms, puts it in some fancy tax software, spits out a return. I help you save money and save more money than you pay me. So my services are free.
Absolutely, absolutely. So today we are going to be talking about tax prep versus tax planning. What's the difference between these two? If there's any, we're going to be deep diving into this topic and we're going to go right into this. So, but before we do that, if you're watching on Facebook Live or if you are watching a replay, feel free to leave your comment or question in the comment section. And if you're watching on YouTube, of course, the replay, also feel free to leave your question or comments in the comment section and we'll be very happy to respond to you. So, JT, what is tax prep? Let's start with that.
Yeah, so tax prep or tax preparation is exactly what it sounds like. It is preparing your tax return. So your tax accountant, as I like to say, they account for all your information. They make sure that you have your W-2, your 1099s, your mortgage statements, all the familiar things that we have. And they take the information that you, the taxpayer, gives them, copies it into their tax software, and spits out a tax return. That's what tax prep is. They're literally just copying what you give them, putting it into a software, out comes a number. So almost anybody can do it. It's kind of like TurboTax.
Thank you. And what is tax planning?
Tax planning is the complete opposite of that. So tax planning is where somebody like me, a tax strategist, says to you, okay, so you own a business. Do you own your home? Do you own your car? Do you have a vacation property? Do you have a rental property? So we already start to see and we ask you, okay, what do you have? And then during the year, we say, oh, well, if you do this with your business, if you rent your home to yourself, if you do all these things, that's how you can save taxes. When you go into your tax accountant or tax preparer in April of the next year, it's too late because you would have had to have implemented those plans in the past year. When you work with me, I'm saying, okay, Joey, we're going to do this, this, and this. And it's funny, I just met with a new client. Was it last week, a week before? And they're like, I feel like I actually have a plan now. Like, I actually know what I'm doing. I know how I'm saving money, why it's working. And when you just go into your tax preparer in April, you just out pops return, you get slapped with a $10,000 bill. You say, is there anything I can do? Nope, next person. And you're like, what? Like, what happened? That doesn't make any sense.
So in essence, we're saying tax prep is reactive while tax planning is proactive. Is that
100%, 100% tax, or the other way. Yeah. Tax prep is reactive. Yeah. So you're playing you're on your heels. If you're a sports fan, you're the defender on a 2-on-1 break, just hoping they miss the dunk. When you're doing tax planning, you're the 2-on-1 fast break on offense. It's going to throw the alley.
Absolutely. And if you want to maximize tax savings, you've got to be proactive. You've got to have plans. All righty. So how does tax planning work for me?
Yeah. So if you were coming to me, Moby, the first thing I would ask you is, I would ask you some kind of personal questions. I'd ask what your marital status is, how much you make, what types of income do you have? Do you have a rental property? Do you have a business? Do you inherit money? All these things. So I ask you and I get a lay of the land. It's pretty much like going to a doctor, right? Doctor's going to ask you, how have you been sleeping? Do you take any medications? So we want to get those we want to get those diagnostics, demographic information. And then we say, okay, based on your demographics, I think you should do X, Y, Z, A, B, C. Then we go out and we show you, okay, if you follow this plan, this is what you'll save in taxes. And generally it's, like I say, it's generally over $10,000 for the most part with most people, because they've actually never worked with somebody that does this type of stuff. And I will tell you, I worked in the biggest CPA firms in the country. I'm not going to say where, but if you heard them, you would know them. And I never remember a tax partner there, tax manager, tax whoever, ever having these conversations with people. It was always just give me a return, spit it out, there you go. So it was never ways to actually save money. It was just to make sure you're in compliance, which is important. Don't get me wrong. We don't want to be out of compliance, but there's different things for that.
But we can add being compliant to being proactive to get the best
Exactly.
of both worlds. So you're trying to tell me that just going to my my tax person in April or like once in a year does not save me taxes. Is that right?
No, it doesn't. That's literally the worst thing you could do. And I would say, as I would tell people, it's a $15,000 mistake by doing that. Because this is Forbes, every year they come out with this. Some years it's different, but for the most part, every American business owner on average is overpaying their taxes by $10,000. And I'm sure it's more. That's just probably just the average. I'm sure it's probably even higher, depending on who you ask. And I will tell you this, every client that I get, they are definitely overpaying by $10,000 easily. So I say that's a $10,000 mistake, is not doing that.
That's crazy. And if you lose that even if you lose it in a year, that's a lot of money. You know what you can do with that much amount of money? $10,000, $15,000.
That's a car. I mean, I'll give you an example. I have a client that they went to a tax accountant in, when was it? Their 2021 taxes. Their tax bill was, I think between the IRS and the state, I think it was like $30,000. And they asked their accountant, is there anything we can do? And they're like, nope, you just save more. And it's like, okay. But in her head, she's like, there's gotta be something. Like I hear Amazon paid zero. Like, how did they do that? I don't think it was like magic. So she came to me and I said, well, there's a few things you can do. And long story short, we ended up lowering her bill to about $5,000 this year. And
Wow,
she was like, wow, I wish I had that, because she actually bought an investment property this year. And she said, I would have bought another one. Or I probably would have bought a nicer one. But she was in her head, she's like, well, I got to save $30,000 for taxes. So I can't make a down payment.
wow, that's
So
phenomenal.
literally her accountant cost her an investment property. And you figure if you keep doing, and her plan is, she's, very successful. Her plan is to buy one real estate property a year. Her accountant was going to cost her that. Because she thought she was doing it right, but just from having the wrong accountant, that would have delayed her retirement. And she said her plan is to basically buy one each year, and she wants to be, have 20 doors or 30 doors, whatever it would be. And you can imagine if you have 30 doors paying you $1,000 a month, that's $30,000 a month. That's, what is that? Quick math on top of my head, $350,000. 360. And it'd probably be more with inflation. And that depends if she gets, it just depends on what type of property she has. But, that accountant cost her that last year. And she was happier now, and it was a lot easier to pay $5,000. And I think there's a way we can even get down further next year.
And sometimes I feel like maybe I'm just tooting my own horn. I like to tell people that we're not your typical accounting team.
No.
Because we don't just do what I call garbage in, garbage out. We don't just key in numbers like monkeys will do, like you'd say.
Yeah.
We help you plan. We leverage tax codes to help you plan. We help you get organized. We help you plan. We save you money. We save you a lot more than you pay us. So it's literally free.
Exactly. And what I always say is that, obviously we have our niche, the mental health industry, or mental health therapists, practitioners, mental health industry. But I always say this, and I'm sure you would attest to this. Like, we know the industry, but we're never going to know it as well as the business owner. Like, we can read all the mental health therapists for dummy books that we want. We can read every single one, and we'd never be better than our clients. But what we do know, we know how to leverage the tax code to the best of our ability. And we do it very well. And if we can help you take home an extra 15, 20, $30,000, our job's done. Like
Yep,
that speaks for itself. And if you plan to work for, 20 years, that's $600,000. That's real money.
absolutely. That's a lot of money.
I
Absolutely.
don't know where you get that ROI.
Oh, yeah. I was telling somebody, I was saying this week, like the way to make your business money on autopilot every year is to do a tax plan.
It is. Literally, it's just structuring your business. And it's not so much that it's hard or easy. I'm sure you guys can go out on the internet and find it. I always joke the internet is an inch thick and a mile wide. I'm sure if I wanted to, I could learn how to do heart surgery if I really wanted to on the internet. I don't recommend anybody do that. And I'm not saying I'm smartest, but there's probably enough information. But I would never advise that, just like you guys. So, like you said, it's autopilot. It's once you do this once, it stays this way basically forever until you decide, I don't want to do this anymore.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what can I do to better prepare for my tax bill? How can I strategically lower my tax bills?
Well, shameless plug, I would say you would sign up for a call with us. That's shameless plug number one. But number two, we had talked about it last week. You have to be organized. And I know bookkeeping's not sexy. I know you hear all the time, I'm going to go to QuickBooks Live. My friend's uncle's father's brother's sister does it for me for $5 an hour. And aren't they just doing it? And I would say, maybe, but if you don't have the foundation of bookkeeping, you can't have these sexy tax plans. It's just the fact, as like we said, Moby said it, I've said it. If you want washboard abs, it starts in the kitchen. You can't just go in and eat McDonald's, eat Burger King because it's the cheapest option and expect to get washboard abs. Same thing. You can't go out and have a bookkeeper that costs next to nothing and expect to save $40,000 in tax. It's just not the way it works, because we're only as good as what the books are.
Absolutely. And this is not being prideful, but
No.
we are very good at what we do. And we have clients testimonials to prove that. And we're very happy and ready to help you. There's an African proverb that said, well, if a child wants you to carry them, then they have to raise their hands. So if you raise your hands, we're very happy to carry you. And I'm going to leave a link in the comment section to where you can book a call with us, and let's get the ball rolling. The year is coming fast to an end. The tax rush season is coming. Don't wait till the last minute.
No.
Don't wait. That's not proactive, but it's not too late yet. So go ahead and click on that link and book a time with us, and let's see how we will be able to help you as well. You have any parting word, JT, before we call it a morning?
No, I would say just make sure you comment in the link below, or click on the link below in the comments or above, wherever my finger goes. It's one of these here. But make sure you do that, because as Moby said, we do have time to still make a dent, but we are running short on the year. We have whatever strategies we implement, we have to have them in by the end of the year. And I know that we'll be out of town on the holiday season. I'm sure you do. So we are not going to be doing this until midnight on 12/31. So the sooner the better. And trust me that we will be able to help you out.
Absolutely. So thank you guys for joining us again. Please click on the link either above or below to book a time with us, and let's help you slash your taxes, keep your money in your bank account so you can use your money to do whatever else you feel like doing. Say, grow your practice, make a down payment for your home, pay for your kids' college. But there's a bunch of things that people can use money for. And we're happy to be a part of that. Thank you so much for joining us today, and see you next time. Bye.